What else can you do but laugh? Welcome to the Through These Gates podcast. The most I'm not even going to say that. Because I'm not I always start off with the most rational Nebraska football show on the internet, and it's kind of tongue in cheek, but I can't even jokingly say it now because no rational human being would put themselves through this type of mental and emotional abuse every single Saturday. I can't wait for the bye week, man. Cannot wait. We're doing audio. I don't want to fuck around with video. Pardon my French. I don't want to mess around with video. For this, I just want to get it out there because it just needs to be said now. I'm not mad. I'm not even mad. I'm very like when you would piss your dad, like you did something as a kid that you knew that you should have really pissed your dad off. Like you should really get it right now. But he was oddly quiet, and for some reason that was scarier than him yelling and screaming at you. That's how I am right now. I'm the dad. I'm oddly calm. And it's just like, I'm not even mad that they lost. I'm not mad because we can finally have a this was his Northern Illinois game. This was his Bo Pelini with McNeese State game. This was his Bill Callahan with Ball State game. We finally have an excuse to rip the Band-Aid off and get this sack of shit out of town. Don't ever come back, bro. I don't care where you go. Scott Frost is not qualified to coach junior varsity high school Class C football, much less. And it's an absolute disgrace. Eric Chenander is the worst defensive coordinator I've ever seen. Makes Cosgrove and Diaco look like defensive geniuses. Guy caught lightning in a fucking bottle a year ago with Joe because he had how many 6-year seniors? I mean, he had Daniels, he had Stilley, he had JoJo Doman, he had Cam Taylor-Britt, he had, the two safeties in Dismuke and Williams. He caught lightning in a bottle. Why on earth do you have your best pass rusher, Garrett Nelson, in coverage the entire game? Your best pass rusher spends 3/4 of the game in coverage. Why? Why? You know what that is? That's a dipshit that thinks he's smarter than he actually is, trying to get cute. That's what that is. Do what works. Yeah, he tore the entire North Dakota offensive line apart last week. Let's drop him in pass coverage for 90% of the game. Why? I just want to know why they do the things they do. Because there doesn't seem to be a rhyme or reason for it that an intelligent person could possibly comprehend. So why? Seriously, man, Scott Frost is going to go down as the worst coach in the history of this program. The worst coach in the history of this program. Including the 50s and the 40s when we sucked. He's going to go down as the worst. The guy makes Mike Riley look like Nick Saban. Bill Callahan looked like Bill Belichick. The sad part was the offense looked solid, man. A good coach can win games with Casey Thompson and Anthony Grant and Trey Palmer. That's the sad part. But he's not a good coach, and that's what we have to realize. Everyone likes to talk about Frost, how he took that 0-12 or whatever team from George O'Leary over and went 6-7 and then 12-0 or 13 or whatever, 14. I don't even remember how many games they played. It doesn't even matter when he was at UCF. Everyone likes to talk about that. And that's great, but that team was talented. Okay, that team was a solid team the year before. The wheels fell off. Let me Google it real quick. George O'Leary's not his last year, but his second to last year, because they returned a lot of guys from that team. And it was a matter of where, just like what you're seeing right now, it was a talented team, but the players had no faith in the coaching staff, and the wheels fell off. So the year before O'Leary got fired, he was 9-4. The year before that, he was 12-1. He didn't take over an 0-12 team. That was not the team he took over. Not talent-wise. He caught lightning in a bottle. He found out very quickly that you can't do the crap in the Big Ten that they used to pull at Central Florida. You can do that against a Big Ten school or an SEC team once a year because they're not used to it, and you can steal a win or two. But you can't do it against a Big Ten schedule. You can't even do it against Georgia Southern with a horrible coach like Frost. Horrible coach. Absolute should be disgraced right now. Should be ashamed of himself. Chenander's a bum. Chenander should walk back to wherever the fuck he lives. I don't even get the hell out of this state, bro. We don't want you here. Absolute bum. Did you even coach defense today, or were you out drinking with Frost? Seriously, bro. Georgia Southern was Lawrence Phillips tonight, and Scott Frost was, well, Scott Frost. Complete disgrace. I don't know if that's true. It's alleged, by the way. Remember, I'm a comedian. Jokes. Everything I say is a joke. Don't take anything seriously. Complete disgrace, though. Can't hide. I mean, come on, man. The guy's really, you know what? I think he's really trying to get that $15 million buyout. I think he's really trying to get that $15 million buyout. That's what I think. I think he's like, hey, let me see if I can just be as bad as possible and see if they'll fire me before the first. I'm going to the Indiana game, bro. We already paid for the tickets. We're going to go. I want to see the train wreck that is his last game. That's torture tourism at that point, man. It's like there's a company that'll take you on vacations through Syria and Afghanistan and like war-torn Crimea and stuff, and Somalia as a vacation trip, and they'll give you like armed guards. It's a real website. I don't remember what it's called, but it's a real website. That's going to be the equivalent of me going to see Indiana, the college football equivalent of me going to see this Indiana game on the first. Can't wait. I hope it's a night game. I'm going to be so bombed at that game. Cannot wait. Do a reaction from because we're staying the night. If it's a morning game, we're going to stay the night Friday. If it's a night game, we're going to stay the night Saturday. I'm hoping it's a night game. I just want to get blitzed and laugh as the whole thing falls down. Because what else can you do? That's what I learned a long, long time ago. Bad stuff, you got to laugh at it because it takes the power away. That's why I became a comic. Truly. I mean, I don't even know what words can't even describe it, man. It's a joke, complete joke. Like on one hand, I'm like, hey, it's just a game, but on the other hand, it's like these guys are being paid. This is the highest paid public employee in the state of Nebraska. Highest paid public employee in the state of Nebraska. You can Google that. Like we're subsidizing this crap right now. We're subsidizing this crap to go out there and perform like this. Because like it or not, man, it's our state's our state's identity. It is. It's unfortunate, but it is. And when they suck, that's what people think. When they think of this state, it's humiliating. Truly. Guys being paid millions of dollars to go out there and embarrass the entire state every single week. Shows no emotion while doing it. He knows he's a lame duck. He knows it's over. He knows it's over. And I know, you know what else? He regrets leaving UCF. Because this crap's acceptable at UCF. They don't care down there. I don't know. I mean, the honeymoon's over. It's been over for a while, obviously, but it's over. The Oklahoma game doesn't matter. Indiana game doesn't matter. He's going to be fired. The worst thing that could happen if you're Trev Alberts right now would be for him to go out and beat Oklahoma. Could you? What do you do? I think at that point you got to let him ride the season out, depending on how the Indiana game goes. That's the worst thing if you're if you're Trev Alberts, would be for Frost to go out and beat Oklahoma. That's the worst thing that could happen right now. The worst thing that could happen, right? A guy coaches like he's drunk. He coaches like he's drunk. I know we don't get into the message board stuff on this show. I try to avoid it. But there's all the speculation about him being drunk and having a drinking problem and getting high and stuff before a game. You know what? I could see it. Doesn't even surprise me at this point. It wouldn't surprise me. I'm not saying he did, but it would not surprise me. It's a disaster. Complete train wreck. Offensive line looked better, but still pathetic. Defense, awful. And let's do the grades. Quarterback, Casey looked great. No qualms with Casey, man. Guy looked great. I'll give him an A. No problem with Casey Thompson tonight. I find one hole in his game. It wasn't his fault. You scored, 42 points? You should win. If your offense scores 42 points, you can't blame them on anything. You can't blame anything on them. Oh, that was the other thing on quarterbacks. That was what I wanted to get at. The Logan Smothers run when Thompson got dinged up. I understand you got to send the backup in there. I get that. I'm not stupid. Why would you give your backup quarterback, who hasn't touched the ball once, the ball on a pivotal third down? Not third and long, third down. Why would you give him the ball there? Why? Let him hand the ball off. Grant can't be stopped. He got the first down. It wasn't a fumble, but even if it wasn't a fumble, that doesn't make it any less of a dumb call. I saw that coming. As soon as he started running with it, I knew that ball's coming out. I said it. I said, that ball's coming out, and I got up and walked into the kitchen to get a drink. Knew it was coming, and I was right. Now, they reversed it, and it was, I don't know, it could have gone either way. I'm not still sold that was a reversal, but they reversed it. Running backs. Hey, Grant and Allen looked good. Solid, man. No issues. A for running backs, A for for quarterbacks. I give the receivers a B. A couple plays here and there is but they didn't do anything spectacular. They get a B though. They didn't make any costly decisions. Again, you're splitting hairs here when you're trying to grade offensive players in a loss where they scored 42 points. Tight ends B. I mean, they didn't do anything spectacular without Vokalek, but their blocking was solid. Offensive line again looked better, but still not great. I'll give them a C. C. Prohaska getting hurt didn't help. It did look better, but they were still getting gashed by that defensive line, still getting crushed. So C for the offensive line. Not to the extent they were against North Dakota and Northwestern. C for the offensive line. Run blocking was definitely improved. You could tell that. Defensive line, F. It's going to I hate to break it to you. It's going to be a lot of Fs. F. Gashed by the run game all game. Outside linebackers, F. A D minus. D minus. Mathis had a couple good plays. They weren't used correctly. It wasn't their fault. We'll get into that later. It was horrible coaching on Chenander's end. Big surprise, I know. The guy that sucked 4 out of 5 years sucked again tonight. It's D minus because it wasn't entirely their fault. Inside linebackers, F. Gashed over the middle again and again and again. Reimer missing tackles left and right. Guys just out of position that should have been able to make the tackle. Like they were heralding and commending Reimer on this great play he made in the backfield. He missed a tackle. It was a tackle for a loss, and I believe it was Mathis that came in and cleaned it up. And if he didn't clean that up, it's a 8, 9, 10-yard run. Again, another one, another double-digit run. Defensive backs, F. Do I even need to say it? Buford had 2 good interceptions, but, I mean, that doesn't cancel out making Kyle Van Treese look like Drew Brees. I'm convinced Chenander could basically make a Pee Wee football quarterback that runs the option, right? An option Pee Wee football quarterback, not even one that passes a lot. Look like Drew Brees at this point. Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, take your pick. Take your pick. Worst defense I've seen in years. Makes Cosgrove, Bob Diaco, Carl Pelini look like geniuses, man. Geniuses. I don't know. I'm not going to say all hope is lost. The great white hope, Urban Meyer, can come save us. So I don't know. Special teams. How do you even grade special teams? 52-yard field goal missed. All the PATs were good. No disasters in the punt and return games. I see. I'm not even going to. No comment. You got to give them. I can't give them anything higher. A C+. I can't give them anything higher than that, considering they missed the game-tying field goal. But again, why are they in that position when they scored 42 points? You know. Coaching. A+. Greatest coaching I've ever seen. Best coaching. Frost is a genius. He should be extended for another 7 years. You guys need to be more patient. Okay. He only needs another 5 years and things will get back on track. That's it. Fire the piece of shit. We're done. I don't even know what to say. Get him out of the state. That's all that matters. Go back to Wood River. I don't even know where Wood River is. Can we stop pretending as a state that we know where Wood River is? I don't even think that's a real town. I think it's a CIA psyop that they used to plant a terrible football coach here and see how long it would take to break the will of an entire state when their prodigal son falls on his face. I think Scott Frost is a CIA psyop. It's an experiment, MK Ultra or something. Like, what would happen? These CIA eggheads sitting in a lab, right? CIA spooks in suits, and you got the egghead doctors sitting in a lab, right? And they're like, okay, how about this? Hear me out, right? They're all on DMT and acid and shit. It's like, what if we have a homegrown quarterback, right? This is in the 90s, right? When the MK Ultra was still kind of going on. Like, what if we plant a homegrown quarterback who's a stud? We send him to another school, piss the whole state off, bring him back, has to spend a year winning over their love and compassion again, right? The next year he leads them to a national championship. Then we're not done. Then he goes into coaching, right? And this is a state that's their entire identity's football, right? They love football. We send him into coaching after that. All right? He has a great career. He works for people like Bill Belichick, Chip Kelly. I mean, anybody, all these great coaches. He goes on to a smaller school, goes undefeated in 2 years, takes a team that didn't win a single game the year before. 2 years later, he's undefeated, claiming some fake pseudo-national championship trophy. And then we send him home 20 years later. 20 years after winning that national championship. We send him back to fix the once storied program that's now in ruins. Because Mike Riley was a plant as well. It goes without saying, though. We send him back. It just makes too much sense. And then he's a disaster. And they're like, what if that would break? How would that go to break the will of a group of people? Like, they're the CIA, they did this, and they're sitting there and they're watching. They're watching this, and they're looking how they can use this on other countries, right? As like a weapon. I think that's what's going on. I think Scott Frost is a CIA plant, and we are all the subjects of an experiment. I'm kidding, obviously. Comedian, joke show. None of this is serious, right? Obviously, that's a joke. We like to joke around in here. Goes without saying, I will be rallying for the 3-year Letterman to replace him. Rick Weiss from Division III football's finest, be a solid pickup as well. Or Urban Meyer. Any of those three. I think they'd all be significant upgrades. But again, like I said, I think there are probably 30 or 40 Pee-wee football coaches in Lincoln and Omaha right now that could outcoach Scott Frost any given day of the week. Any day of the week. Maybe we'll do a video during the bye week of replacements. Top 10 replacement candidates for Scott Frost. Lane Kiffin, here we come. Thank you so much. Have a good night. God help us all. Peace.